Welcome to Tarot with Tanya. We are focusing on the week of April 24th to the 30th, the last one of the month. And this is 7 cards for 7 days. As always, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. And if you are new here, welcome. So glad that you could stop in and see what we're about here. So the cards for this week feature a lot of cups. So an overemphasis perhaps on the water element, which can be emotional, psychic, intuitive. And then we have a lot of royal cards this time as well. We begin with the moon in Gemini on the 24th. We've just passed Earth Day. And we, like I said, we start with the Gemini moon, and that switches to Cancer later in the day on the 24th, and then we end up with the moon in Virgo by the next weekend. So our first card for this Monday, the 24th, is the 5 of Wands, and I'm using the Rider-Smith-Waite deck. And here you have 5 people. She was, Pamela Smith was a designer for theater too. And you can, if you look closely, you see that sort of theatrical element, just the way that they're costumed. 5s always connect back to that Hierophant, our major that's governing all the 5s. And, those are human lessons. So what in our humanity are we to pay attention to on this Monday? And this is often seen as competing for a point of view, perhaps competing for a position. It has been called strife in some cases. I think of it a little bit as a kind of anxiety. But if the energy is expressed, if the energy can come out of the body, then you're better off. Because it's wands, it's fiery, and that is particularly relating to our instincts. So see what your instincts are, and maybe try to find some harmony in those different points of view. Tuesday, we get the first cup for the week, and this is the 4 of Cups. We have our dreamer up against the tree, and eyes closed, legs crossed. Also a closed position with the arms, which we tend to read as not particularly open. So when I see the 3 cards in front, I think about the 3 of Cups and how that represents harmony and often harmonious, in particular, relationships between women or a party, something like that. Here, it's like the rejection of that party and a longing for something that seems to be already there. This deck follows what some others do, and that's to have the hand on the aces that comes out of the cloud and offers something. So this other cup is being offered, but the eyes are closed, so you can't see the cup. So, it could be a little bit of being stuck for a moment and not realizing what that next gift might be for you. When we move to Wednesday, we get the only sword. So there are only 2 masculine elements in the whole week, and we started off with that wands, which was the first one, and then we come into Wednesday with the Queen of Swords. So the swords would be a masculine, but the queens are all feminine, so we have some balance in that. And she holds that sword upright, so it's not threatening, it's standing for truth, ideas, a higher understanding, being very articulate, so able to express your thoughts in words that can convince others. Danger, the dark side of that can be being a little bit cold and living up here and ignoring the heart, the gut, things like that. But generally a very positive communicator. So it could be a good day to think about a message that you might need to deliver. And as I mentioned earlier, we have court cards pretty, well, maybe I didn't, I can't remember now. We have court cards pretty dominant in this reading this week. So there are 4 of them, 2 queens. Obviously, this is our first one. So it can be people around us. So someone who is influencing you, or maybe you're in this role too. So just be mindful, that those words are helpful and not a little too sharp. When we get to Thursday, our second court card, or royal card, and we're back to the cups. And this is the Knight of Cups. Now, he can be a great dreamer, a lover, a very romantic kind of figure. Again, it doesn't have to be, it's not gender bound, it's just a masculine or feminine quality. And so here we have the cups, which are feminine, but a knight, which is masculine. So a little bit like the Queen of Swords, some balance in there between our masculine and feminine selves. We all have them. So by Thursday, maybe there is some offer of love or reconciliation, or some romantic dream comes up. Maybe don't act, but pay attention. It can be very imaginative, maybe a little bit too on the rose-colored glasses side, as in offering more than, can really be given, but can also be super sweet. Friday, we go to the King of Cups. So he would be the next masculine in the cups, and the last one. So, again, these can be people. This person would represent an energy of more maturity than, say, the Knight of Cups, whereas the Knight of Cups could be super romantic, again, promising more than can be delivered. This one would know what she can deliver, what is a more mature and heartfelt response to things. What is the proper emotional support? So it could be like, a dad figure, or again, a romantic figure, someone who knows how to give support without being smothering. So also can be great for tapping into that particular kind of imagination, maybe associated with poetry, music, creative arts in general. Saturday brings us to that 4th water card, 4th cup, and we get the 9 of Cups here. We have this figure in the red cap looking pretty pleased with the self. We still do have the arms like this, but here it seems a bit more relaxed than with our 4 of Cups. And this card is known as happiness in the Thoth deck. It can signify what some people call the greedy merchant, but I tend to have more positive associations with it, that it is a lot of emotion and hopefully of a very positive nature. All the 9s would be connected to the Hermit card, also to the Moon. So, going in, what is your inner happiness? Not making that dependent on other people. And I do feel like there's a way that all the 9s have a kind of self-containment aspect to them. So to me, that seems like great encouragement next Saturday to look within and see what it is that gives you that inner happiness that you can always go to. Then our Sunday, we end the week with the Queen of Discs. So there's that second queen, the 4th royal card. This one moves into the earth energy, so we consider this one a double feminine, the queen and the earth element. She can remind us of things like diet. Are we eating well for ourselves, taking good care of ourselves, resting enough, looking over our material well-being? It's here in the Northern Hemisphere, getting to be gardening season. It can represent things like that. purchases you need to make. And with her, I'm going to try to bring her face in a little bit closer. There's very frequently a reflective quality with the queens, and I think in some ways, especially this one, looking back over life, maybe looking at your material accomplishments or, goals in general. Have I met those? What do I still want to do? How have they changed? How do I need to adjust them based on where I am now? So a very good day next Sunday for grounding and assessing, reassessing where life has taken you. And, we're also in a Mercury retrograde occurring in Taurus. And at least some of the astrologers are saying that's a bit of an easier one. Because it's not so mental. Again, it's that earth energy, just like the Queen of Pentacles, and she fits very well also with the moon being in Virgo next Sunday. That's her domain, those earth signs. So hopefully you're feeling some of these influences through these court cards in a positive way, keeping a perspective that a lot of emotion or a lot of insight, a lot of intuition, a lot of imagination could come up this week. And, try to put that in a positive direction, imagining what you want. I mean, getting very literal about it. How does it look? How does it smell? How heavy is it? What's the texture? What does it sound like? All of those things, if we're putting them into what we truly desire and we harm none, that's very positive imagination. So I also drew an oracle card for us and switched it up a bit this time, and I'm using the I Ching oracle cards, and we got 55. The double digits are considered master numbers, so that seems especially good for our reading. And 55 is also known as plenty. So I'm going to share with you what it says here. In terms of I Ching, plenty signifies that inner clarity and worldly success are united insofar as the whole wealth of life can be experienced. That feels so appropriate, and that fits with that Mercury in Taurus. Whenever it retrogrades, we are given about 3 weeks to re-examine the territory we have covered, the way we have thought about things, the way, Mercury's communication and moving around very quickly, ideas, that kind of mental energy. So where has that been? And, again, in Taurus, it gets slowed down into this earthy frequency. So what is the wealth of life? It isn't just coins. It isn't just material wealth. Or, if it is looking at material wealth, how does a garden make you feel? How do you feel about your home? Things like that. It doesn't have to be ostentatious, right? It's what vibrates for us, makes us feel good. So to continue. This constitutes a true peak of experience for human beings. Once it begins, a beginning in the sense of a cosmic cycle of life, the descent renews toward the planes of everyday life. This is an entirely natural phenomenon, and you should not therefore mourn the transitoriness of fortune and success. That so ties in with the Wheel of Fortune. Of course, that didn't come up this week. We didn't have any majors, which is kind of unusual too. But it is that idea that everything is cycles. We're always in cycles, or, this too shall pass idea. Gather your strength in order to meet the future challenges before the Wheel of Fortune takes you to the top again. The work you do now is an investment in the future. Enjoy plenty for so long as it lasts. And, use that positive imagination again to manifest, to bring forth, to put energy into what you want and not spend time dwelling on what you don't want, what takes negative imagination for you. Thank you so much for being here, for investing your time in this, and I hope it helps you. I hope, again, you're developing your intuition, seeing what energies are out there and how that might manifest for you or not, what you might be feeling. So please consider liking, sharing, subscribing so we can keep growing this together. And I wish you all a very beautiful week, beloveds. If you are interested in getting some help in your life, with tarot cards or, just a psychic reading, I usually use cards in those too. But we can look at all kinds of things, questions that you might have about where the energies are currently taking you in your life. That information will be below in the description box and a little bit at the end of this video. So have a great week.